This video is presented by EA Game Changers. Massive thanks to EA for flying me out to Gamescom to capture this footage for you guys. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I have got for you some FIFA 19 gameplay. It's a Champions League group stage match, actually. So when I was at Gamescom, there were a couple of different builds of the game. A couple of different stations that we were on had different builds. So this particular build, I believe, is like the demo of the game. That had less game modes available, so I couldn't necessarily play house rules or any of the survival or anything like that against other people. However, I could play with the Champions League theming, as you can see right here. Looks pretty awesome. All the GFX and stuff are changed for the official license of the Champions League, and the stadiums look different and stuff, and of course all the players will have Champions League branding on their shirts and stuff. And that leads me to the other thing. This particular build of the game had the latest kits, so you'll notice that this is Juve's new shirt, same for Bayern and stuff like that, whereas you also see some gameplay from me, and you will have already seen some gameplay from me if you haven't, if you've already watched some of the FIFA 19 vids that I've done, where I'm in like Juve's old kit or Man City's away kit from last season and stuff. Now, that particular build of the game was one where we had the older kits but slightly newer gameplay, and that's the gameplay that is pretty awesome, and I'm really enjoying. This particular gameplay is slightly older, however, a lot of the new mechanics are still there, and obviously that is what me and Kyle Riley, the UK community manager for EA, that's who I'm playing against. I'm Juve. I scored this beautiful goal with CR7 right here, timed to perfection, by the way. I scored it against Kyle and his Bayern Munich team. So that was the idea of when we were playing these games. Not necessarily to go super competitive and have like a 1-0 boring gameplay for you to watch. We want something exciting. We want some cool goals for you to see, and I also want to test out the mechanics. I want to try out some of these new flick up volleys. I want to try out some of the I don't know, like the timed shooting and the skill moves and stuff. So you'll see a lot of the time we're just randomly flicking it up, trying to hit cool volleys, trying to see what will work on FIFA 19 versus what won't work. And to be honest, what you just saw there, which was Kyle hitting a weak foot off-timed volley from distance. I mean, obviously that's not going to work, Kyle. What are you doing, mate? But I will of course leave a link to Kyle's Twitter down below in the description. Make sure you go and follow him for lots of EA FIFA 19 updates and all of that good stuff. And of course, he's just generally a good guy to follow on Twitter. We all love Kyle, really. So Douglas Costa scores another beautiful goal for me. It was Ronaldo that scored the first volley, and from actually a very similar position but a totally different scenario, I'm able to whip the ball over to him. There was no defender there, as I believe Kyle either pulled it or yeah, he pulled the defender out, as you can see there, leaving a massive gap, and all I just needed to do was flick it over the top, hold that guaranteed volley button as opposed to the player just trying to take like a header or something. So hold LT or hold L2 and your player will go for like a proper volley as opposed to a header, which is then never going to go in from that distance, right? But the other thing to note from that goal I just scored, and you can always pause or rewind it and watch it again if you want, is that I timed it to perfection. And Douglas Costa's a 3-star weak foot player. Like that goal went in on the right foot, aka the weak foot of Douglas Costa. So how did it go so perfectly? Well, that is where the risk reward is going to come in for timed shooting, and someone like Costa who would, if I had have timed that early or too late, or if I hadn't have bothered going for a time shot whatsoever, the chances of that volley going over the bar or into the keeper's hands, or just genuinely me not running away celebrating, would be a lot higher. So there is your reasoning to time your shots, you know, especially if it's going to be on the weaker foot of a player or you're not certain that it would go in anyway. Yeah, if you're one-on-one or you're past the keeper with an open net, yeah, you're not going to necessarily need to time your shot, or you can afford to mess it up slightly. But making sure or trying to learn how to time those balls right, that's where you're going to get those extra goals that you didn't necessarily think were going to come from. So I nearly get through right there. I don't know, Kyle's on super attack mode or something right now because the defenders are quite high up. But Juve have got a very pacey front three. You know, I played with a 4-3-3, I think it was, and like CR7's up front, Douglas Costa's out on the left. We've got Dybala on the right. Like, there's just a lot of pace and stuff going on here. I mean, that's not a very nice goal to score, Kyle. Thank you very much for completely sweating it against me, just to show you that, yeah, sweats are back in the game. Of course they are. Yeah, not a nice one to concede. However, what was I going to do? I'm pretty sure I even gave up on that one just as the ball went through, because I'm like, oh, I can see it opening up for the Sweat. I know he's about to get back into this match. But we are still 1 goal ahead, and pretty much from kickoff, you'll nearly always see me going for like flick up volleys and stuff, trying to, because if you can time it right, you can like juggle the ball all the way from kickoff to the edge of the box and then hit a volley. You're going to have to time it right and hit those, like you basically press like the R3 button, the right analog stick in, and then you flick the right analog stick directionally and stuff, and that's how you keep the ball in the air as it's in the air. And getting that right at the right pace, you know, where you're not sprinting too much, but you're moving fast enough that you're not walking. That sort of stuff, you can learn it, and that's when you can run down the pitch. And if someone's like an aggressive tackler or an aggressive defender of the ball, where they're like sliding into you and stuff, that's when you can just sort of go whoop and then flip the ball over them, and of course get more of a chance to hit an awesome volley and a crazy showboaty maneuver. Now, I nearly got equalised on then. That was a really, really well-timed shot from Kyle, but I'm pretty sure it was either the weak foot or the outside of the strong foot from Lewandowski. Now, you might want to be asking me, hey, Lasty, you just timed that shot to perfection. How on earth has that not gone in? Well, you press shoot before you press it again, right? So the first time you press shoot is when you're powering up the shot. What Kyle did there was power it up just a little bit too much and then timed it to perfection, so it was always going to hit the bar as the best outcome because he put too much power on it. However, if it was early or late, or if he hadn't timed it at all, that's when you would have seen the ball going flying over the bar, and that shot was never going in unless it takes a crazy deflection or something like that. So that's the first half, and I'm 2-1 up. You know, there's been 3 goals in the first half, not too bad at all. I feel like there's no need for changes or anything, and I hope you guys are enjoying just the gameplay and stuff. I'm going to move on. This is like my 4th gameplay video, so we've done one on the journey, one on survival mode versus Gabe Zarro, and then one on no rules versus Ches. So I've done that, and now of course the Champions League versus Kyle. I want to move on to using a lot of the other clips that I recorded now, sort of for like tutorial style videos. I want to show you guys how to do the time shooting, or when's best to, or how you can help learn it and stuff, and the new skill moves, and showing you how to do them and what they look like when you're pulling them off, and just showing you like a lot of clips, whether it be with some online gameplay and a lot of offline gameplay that I was able to capture when I was at Gamescom. So that's the sort of thing I want to move on to now. So you can probably expect another 4 or so videos from me over the next week. On the stuff that I captured at Gamescom, and it will literally be like tutorials on how to do like the time shooting, or how to perform the La Croqueta, the new Iniesta lane change or whatever that's in the game, and the soul trap and some of the other skill moves. You might see some PSG gameplay with Neymar hitting his own custom style rainbow flick and stuff. So that's what I want to show you now, that I hope that you guys have seen like I've purposefully left these as pretty much full games. I want you to be able to watch that now, because I know in a few weeks time you're going to want it to be a lot more cut up, a lot more content in there, but of course this is all we have right now, so I want you to be able to watch the full gameplay if you want to, and just see all of the new things that are going on. You know, Kyle's trying to hit volleys from 40 yards there, and that's just not going to work with the weak foot of Ribery. So you can time stuff to perfection, but of course don't forget you have to hit and power up the shot first. So if you tap the B button and you're like 20 yards out and you're expecting something to go in the top corner, well of course that's not going to happen, because you've tapped it. You've basically you've tapped the ball with your foot. You've not put your foot through it or anything like that. So there's a lot to learn. People have been tweeting me about driven shots. You know, have driven shots changed? Have they been removed from the game? Well, no, they're still there. However, they're now LB and RB, and then hold the shoot button, which for me, I'm not a massive fan of that, and I've explain that to EA. I feel like adding another button is not necessarily the right move. And of course, when you first play FIFA 19, guys, you're going to be mistiming your shots all over the place, thinking that you're hitting FIFA 18 low drivens, because you're going to double tap the B button and it's just going to lead to a poorly timed shot. However, stick to it and you will learn it. You will learn it, I promise you, as I score yet another fantastic goal, timed to perfection. A great volley there from Paulo Dybala. This is a sublime goal. Obviously, Kyle dives in with the challenge there, but I whip it over the top, and there is no way in hell that Neuer is getting that ball. When I time that volley to perfection, and obviously I got the power to perfection as well, that is... it looks like it's going over for the longest time, and then it just continues to dip. Well, I've scored 3 pretty sick goals in this video. Kyle scored 1 sweaty goal, but you know what? So be it. I'm sure there'll be a chance for him to score 1 more goal towards the end of this match. As I don't know why, but he keeps trying to hit these volleys from distance and then going for like Rabonas and stuff. But hey, we were having fun, right? And you guys get to see the gameplay with the trainer on, with the directional buttons. You're seeing where we're clicking all of our buttons. You're seeing how the time shots are helpful when having the trainer on. If you don't have it on, obviously the little indicator above your player's head is what's going to light up with how you're doing with the time shot. So if it goes like red, you've like poorly timed it, like way too early. If it goes yellow, then you're slightly early. If it goes white, then it's too late, and your player had already struck the ball by the time you've even hit the shot. So and then of course if it goes green, then you've timed it to perfection, and you have the best possible chance for that ball to go flying on into the back of the net. So yeah, we come towards what is going to be the end of one of my last like full gameplay videos. When I get the chance to play FUT sometime in the next few weeks, then I will of course leave up some full length FUT gameplay so that you can see the changes based on like this to then, to when FUT comes out, or whenever I get a chance to play FUT, and then, you know, obviously base that on like the different game speed, and FUT is normally quicker, right? So you'll have slightly different mechanics, and the way that the game will play differently and stuff, and obviously that's going to lead to having to relearn time shooting again, because I've learnt it on kickoff mode in sort of like an offline, playing on the same console way. Is that going to differ to then playing it online and stuff? We will find out, I guess, over the coming weeks. But I'm 3-1 up here. There's not much time left in the game. Jerome Boateng makes a fantastic challenge, and then that's the first time I think Kyle's hit a time shot right all game long. He does it in the 90th minute, well, 92nd minute, scores a beautiful, very powerful goal with Lewandowski that I think probably wouldn't have gone in if he didn't time that to perfection, because it's not the best, it's not in the best position, right? That's like goalkeeper's arms height. Yeah, it's kind of in the corner, but it's sort of the near post of the goalkeeper at that point. So the extra shooting accuracy and power that he's got right there is what's led that one to go in the back of the net. Now, maybe a consolation goal for Kyle towards the end right here, as let's face it, we're in the 93rd minute and the game is over, but a fun one nonetheless. 5 goals for you to see. Some of them, well, 4 of them look really good. 3 of mine looked amazing, obviously. But hit me with that thumbs up button if you did enjoy this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.